I'll admit before I begin this that Diablo 2 is one of my favourite games ever. It's in my top 5 for sure, and took up a good portion of my late teens, early 20s. It was the game that ignited my love for dungeon crawlers. It's the reason I fall so hard for looters even now, and so I was never going into Diablo 2 Resurrected with an impartial attitude. That being said, it still surprised me in both negative and positive ways.
Hey, Adam from GodIsAGeek.com here. Sorry to interrupt, but if you wouldn't mind just hitting the big old subscribe button and maybe the bell to notify you of every new video we release, we'd be really grateful. Thank you so much and enjoy the video.
For a start, below the surface, this is the same game I was playing in 2000. In fact, you can push a button or combination of buttons on Xbox and the new skin will peel back to show you the legacy mode. This in itself is a weird feeling because honestly, I couldn't remember the difference until I did it. The atmosphere, the sound bites, the dialogue, the subtle but ominous music as you wander the Rogue Encampment, it's all a rich tapestry that catapulted me back in time, and moving around I thought, wow, this still looks really good. Dumbass. It was only after flicking the legacy mode on that I realised my brain was playing silly buggers. Of course, it didn't look this good in 2000. On balance, Diablo 2 Resurrected doesn't look quite as pretty or fluid as Diablo 3 does on PC, but it's not far off. The animations are still just a little bit stiff due to it being a reskin of a 20-year-old game with fairly rigid animations. The character models look great though, and seeing some of those beasties in finer detail is impressive. The tweaks to the character classes and their armour and weapons are also welcome. Aesthetics aside, that the gameplay is still massively on point is testament to the design. It's not just cliche to refer to dungeon crawling looters as Diablo clones. There are mechanics introduced in the original and its sequel that still find their way into every modern iteration of the genre. What's strange is that nothing developed since has been added to Resurrected, and look, it's still very playable. It's not nostalgia that made me enjoy every minute spent with the beta. My main issues here are that there are certain quality of life improvements that has become hard to live without. Stackable potions and scrolls, for example. The inventory is pretty small and you'll be portaling back to town every 20 minutes or so to unburden yourself, and if you forgot to bring a scroll of town portal, you'll be walking a fair way back to the nearest waypoint each time. But complaining about these things in Diablo 2 Resurrected is a little unfair. This is not a remake, after all, but a remaster, and what is here is, perhaps not surprisingly, excellent. In the beta, we only had access to 5 of the characters. My favourite, the Assassin and the Necromancer, were not selectable for some reason. Instead, I played mostly with the Druid and Sorceress. If nothing, it made me realise what was lost in the creation of Diablo 3's skill trees. While I'm a huge fan of Reaper of Souls, the multiple branches of Diablo 2 skill trees make it very easy to plot your way through to specific skills and particular builds. The characters feel incredibly unique, designed to work as well alone as in a group. Playing through the chapters of Act 1, I was reminded just how balanced the difficulty felt in D2. Well, feels, sorry, present tense again now. I wonder what newcomers to the game will think though. Sadly, of that I have no idea. It may well feel too clunky to them. They might well hanker after those missing quality of life tweaks that I mentioned. But when the reskin of a game first released 20 years ago plays better and feels more compelling than some of the games released in the genre in the last 5 years, that tells you something. New players might raise a questioning eyebrow or two then, but I've no doubt that fans of the original will go nuts for Diablo 2 Resurrected when it's finally released. Hey there, hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please hit like and subscribe, maybe tag the bell icon too so you're kept up to date with all the reviews, previews, news, views and what have you that we post on a given day. And if you want to support us via Patreon, you can go ahead and do that. We appreciate everything that you guys do for us. In the meantime, I've been Mick Fraser for God is a Geek, and you guys have been lovely. Bye.